So,
right.
great to see you here today.
Great to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I watched the movie last night. I enjoyed it.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to work with everybody in that cast, and I liked to Dukes of Hazzards when I was a little kid, so it was so much fun for me to be with Tom. So I was like, wow, this is wild. So it's just and I'm a huge fan of you know Yellowstone. So there's some. It was just a cool experience. And Happy Days, not most. It was so much fun with him.
Right.
There were so many wonderful people in this. I just was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great cast. Yeah. You looked like you were having fun.
We were having a good time. We were having a good time.
So, how did your part in the movie come about?
Well, I've worked with Gary before. I did a movie called The Warrant with him, where I also played not the best cowboy in the world, but I liked him. I like both these guys that I played. I liked them a lot. Not necessarily what they did, but I liked being in those roles and everything. So it's still always fun to play cowboys and be able to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, Gary called me up for this. And like, I got this role for you, and I thought it was great. And then for this, he just called me up again. He said, "Hey, look, I got another one."
Oh,
So
good.
that was
Great.
good.
Yeah. So when was the movie filmed and how long did it take to film?
It was filmed a couple years ago, and I think was it last year? I'm not sure.
Okay.
I have so many films that I've done so recently. I have 7 out right now
Wow.
that were all filmed in the last 4.5, 5 years, and so I'm like trying to put which one was when and
Right.
where, and it's just so crazy for this, so crazy for me. So and I've played a lot of bad guys lately too. So um, this was wild. I don't know when it was filmed. It took us a couple of. It was over the summer because we went and saw my parents in North Carolina. So it would have to been last summer or the summer before. And we just we filmed the summer, and we were up in the Carolinas, and I went and visited my parents who were up there just by chance. They had planned something with my sisters, so we all got to see my kids, and I had my youngest daughter with me, and my wife and our dog.
Oh, nice. Nice. So you clearly enjoy playing a bad guy.
I think if you're not having fun, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Right.
So you have a role like that, definitely have fun with it, because otherwise it would just be probably a morose and overwhelmingly uh, depressing feeling. But if you're having fun with it, it gets to be fun. I think it's more interesting too for the people that are watching. I like when I see the bad guy having fun with it. I'm like, oh my God, he's enjoying this way too much. That's a good thing. That's a good
Yeah.
thing when you see them doing that. So I enjoy that.
Good. And did you know Tom Wopat before this?
I did not know him before this.
Okay.
I only knew who he was. I had never worked with him, but
Right.
I was very excited to work with him.
Great. And had you seen the first 2 County Line movies? I think they're 2.
No, no, I had not. The other one wasn't out at the
Oh,
time, and I hadn't seen the first one. So,
okay. I'm gonna have to go watch those. I like this one a lot.
oh,
Um, and there's a big fight scene near the end. Did you guys do your own stunts, or were there stuntmen involved? Or
no, I had an amazing stunt double who came in and did a lot of the stuff for me, and Tom had a stunt double, but we got to do some of our scene. I got a little bit of our fighting going on, and that was cool. But then I had a stunt double came in and did that amazing kick. That wasn't me.
oh,
That was him. That was him.
was
Uh,
it you when they showed you from when he was watching you from a little bit away, and it showed your character practicing kicking? Was that you?
I did, yeah, I did some of those kicks.
Oh, okay, good.
I don't know. I haven't watched it, so I haven't seen it yet. But
Um,
I did some of my own kicks. Yeah, I was practicing when I was practicing kicking. Those were me. I
okay.
remember that. I was hitting the bag. Yes.
Yeah, it was a very short scene. Um, Let's see. And was there anyone else in the cast or crew that you'd worked with before besides Gary?
Uh, no, I think this was the first time I worked with. I mean, I worked with the director Brent before, but the stunt double had been on the Warrant with me, my stunt double and the stunt coordinator. So some of the crew and some of that were people I've worked with before. But the cast, it was all pretty much new for me. Gregory was in it, but I didn't work with him that day, and he and I had worked on another movie. But aside from that, no, I hadn't worked with any of those actors. It
Okay.
was
And
new thing for me, all of them.
yeah. And what was the most challenging thing about playing Zed?
You know, meeting the character that played my father, he was amazing, and he was a pilot like my father, and he was incredible, and he had similar characteristics to my father. So when I had to kill him, oops, when I did what I did to my dad, I don't know if we're supposed to put in, I don't know.
It's at the beginning. I don't, it's not a big spoiler.
It's it is in the beginning. So that was hard. That was difficult because he was such a good man, and I liked him a lot. I dug him, and it's always hard when you have to do something like that. But still, it was cool.
Yeah, he looked familiar. I think I've seen him in a lot of stuff.
Mm. I
Um,
I he just had one of those. You might have seen him in other stuff. I have no idea, but I do know that he was just he had a great personality. He was a good person.
okay, cool. And do you have any funny behind the scenes stories about the movie, making the movie?
I hung out a little bit with Denim, and it was great to connect with him on that level and just talk with him a little bit. But I think really Don most. I was talking to him the most. I had so much fun with him, and I had been such a Happy Days fan. It was, and I've got to work with almost everybody except for Ron Howard in that one. So I'm always, you know, I've been directed by Anson Williams, who directed me in a TV show once a long time ago, and then Ralph, and then I got to work with Tom Bosley before in a movie. So it was just cool, and he and I are still connected, and we're connected on social media, and it's good to have him as a friend. So I like him.
Good. Oh, good. I'm glad he's as likable as he seems on TV and movies.
He's wonderful and super talented, and just a great guy. I mean, they really put together. Gary, who's the producer on that, always puts together great people. He just gets, he's very family oriented and loves the people. He's a big fan of the industry. So he really, as a producer, and director, he directs other things. He wasn't the director on this one. He was the producer on it, but he just puts together people you want to hang out with. And that's always fun.
That's great. I saw you years ago on One Life to Live. I watched it back when you played Ty, Luna's little brother.
Wow, you're going way back. Yeah, that's 1993.
Going back, yeah. In fact, I watched the clip on YouTube last night because I wanted to remember from when you first came on, and they had the two guys playing your brothers and everything. That was really fun to watch again. So was that very different from other roles that you've played since working on the soap opera?
The soap opera was very different, and they had a certain way they wanted you to act, and the producer at the time wanted me to even work with somebody. They wanted me, I think they really, I don't know. I think I'm a bit too much of a nerd for those things. I'm not as cool. Like my buddy Patrick Muldoon is much cooler than me, and so he was really cool on Days of Our Lives and all that stuff. I don't know if the soaps really, they're not really. I'm not really the right actor for that. I'm too much of a dork, and I'm too weird. And I think those guys are all a little bit more. They have just a little bit more like coolness factor to them. So Patrick does definitely, and I loved being on that. I loved the experience of working with people, especially Tanya, and it was just it was fun. It was fun time.
Great. And I knew they brought you in with two other guys, and it seemed like they sort of disappeared, and then they kept you on for a little while, and then they brought in a fourth brother who stayed on for a few years. Do you know what the decision? Do you know anything about why they did that? Were you always the one that they wanted to feature, or and they just didn't like the other two guys, or what? Do you know? No, you never.
I think they were just brought in to be with me, to bring me in. I think they were just hired like that. I have no idea what their
Oh,
thought process was. They
okay.
didn't inform me back then. Like, it was a take or leave it.
Right.
And I was supposed to be like, I was gonna have a lot more, I think, to do on that, but they didn't. They only used me like once a week or something like that, which
Yeah.
was the minimum they had to use me, and that's basically all they did. So I wasn't. And
Yeah.
I was only on for 5 months.
Yeah, I remember you weren't on for long. Where'd that guy go? I liked him. But I was glad when you became more successful after that. So
Thank you.
um
I love my One Life to Live family. There were some really
well,
good people there, and it's just a lot of work you have to do for a soap opera, and a lot of times, which is probably good prep for what it is today. Now that we don't shoot on film anymore, everybody's like, hurry up, and they want to shoot it, and they want you to be prepared and come in, which is probably was beneficial being on a show like One Life to Live or any soap opera, I would imagine, because they give you a little. There's so much work that you have to do going into it,
yeah.
and it's helped me memorize things. Like I did a movie Daughter just recently, which was all shot on film, where I play a horrible, horrible father, one of the worst ones I've ever done, and I replace my daughters when they're not appropriate. Help me raise my. It's just, but it was all shot on film, and I was mostly the one talking in that, so that was harder to do. But I think probably because I was on One Life to Live, something like Daughter was good, and for me, and then it's just something that you keep doing this business. I had One Life to Live, and then I got on 90210, and then I got on Starship Troopers and Tarzan and Sleepy Hollow, and then and now I've been lucky where I've gotten to work on a whole bunch of different other things, and then I get to have County Line No Fear out right now, and then I have Heart of a Champion out right now, which I play a good guy in that with Edward Furlong, which was amazing, and Yaya Gosling, she's a wonderful actress, and then I'd also do one called which is they're doing a Fathom event on June 21st in movie theaters. They're doing Mad Heidi, which I played the Swiss dictator slash president of that, and it's an insane film. It's a Swiss. It's like a Robert Rodriguez
Oh,
grindhouse film, so it's like blood splattered. It's the cheesiest
oh,
movie you'll ever see. We fondue board somebody and we kill them with a chocolate door balloon. I mean, it's really it's absurd. But they're going to do a Fathom event because it's done so well at all the things. So
cool.
they're going to put it in over 800 theaters on June
Great.
21st.
Yeah, that you read my
Same thing.
mind because I was going to ask you what other things you have coming out.
Well, I have one coming out called, I have a Hunt Club out right now, Battle for Saipan out right now, but I have The Flood coming out soon, and I have Monsters of California, where Tom DeLonge directed that from Blink 182.
Okay.
He directed it, and he directed everything musically, and it's kind of like an Amblin film coming out, and that's pretty intense. So I'm excited about that. And of course, I just shot the last episode of the season finale, not the series finale, the season finale, season 5 of All American, where I play,
Oh,
the father of Asher in that. So I've been really busy, but good stuff. Lots of stuff coming
great.
out. Lots of
And
stuff. So
I think they just renewed All American. Will you be the next season?
I hope so. I'm a
Yeah,
recurring. So
yeah.
I was in the first 3 seasons, over 4 episodes in each season, and then this last season I was only in one episode, the series finale. But I have no idea if they want me. I'm there. I like that show. It's a good family, so it's fun.
That's good. That's good. And do you still stay in contact with anyone from One Life to Live?
I've run into a couple people, but no, the only person I'm still good friends with is Nathan Fillion,
Oh,
and which is funny because Ryan Felipe was leaving as I was coming in, and then Nathan Fillion was coming in as I was leaving. So I've worked with both of them, and I just worked with Ryan a couple of years ago, and Nathan and I are still friends, and he's just somebody that I've known for forever. So he's a great guy.
great. You need to get on the Rookie.
I would love to be on The Rookie. I know keep going. I don't think my friends are involved with the casting. Otherwise, I think I would be on that. Also with you know, Alan Tudyk. You know, I did the Con Man series with Nathan and Alan. We did Con Man series
All
together. I
right.
was the bartender in season 1 and 2, and
Right.
I would love to work with him on his Alien show.
Yeah.
You know, these are all things I would love to, but you know, I don't think they have the, you know, I have no idea. I think they're busy working on their show, and I would love to come work with them anytime. I would love to come surprise them and not even have them know that I'm coming on the show.
I don't know. A lot of Nathan's friends and former coworkers have been on his show, so you just need to
Hoping I
give
get
him
on.
a call.
My daughter's been on his show.
Oh,
My
wow.
daughter Grace was on Stranger Things. She was Chrissy in Stranger Things. She was
Mhm.
born during Starship Troopers. She was on The Rookie, so
Wow.
she's gotten of it.
That's funny. No, I remember you now in Con Man, you playing the bartender, because I remember thinking, I think that looks familiar, and I had to look you up, and I'm, oh yeah. It was such a out of nowhere role that, you know.
Yeah, Alan and Nathan called me up. Like, hey, we got this role for you. All you do is this, and I go, okay, I'm in. Season 2, I do this.
That's fun.
I'm double fisted shaking,
There you go. There you
mixing those drinks.
go. Well, Resident Alien is great, so I hope you do get in that one. That's a wonderful show.
I would love to get on that.
Yeah.
I'd love to be
Well,
the bartender on the show.
there you go. Yeah, they must have. Yeah, they must. I think they have a bar in town. If
It'd be
not, they need
funny.
one. I know they have a cafe, so they probably have a bar. Well, thank you for being here and talking to us. I really appreciate it. Is there anything else you'd like to say about the movie or to the fans?
No, I hope people enjoy it. I hope they like it. I love the wardrobe, and those the costumer was amazing. She just I took some of those clothes. I wear them still, but it was fun for me. I those are my those they got me boots, and they got me those were my jackets. So those were my snakeskin jackets.
Oh wow, I was going
But
to ask you about the
and that was
snakeskin jacket.
so there's two of them, and they're both mine. And then the Jeep is also mine. The Jeep I
Okay,
rode in is mine. That's my Jeep. I just like because they were gonna put me in a different car. I'm like, can I just drive my car? And they're like, yeah. So
neat.
that's it. That's all. That's all the other stuff for that. But it was just fun. Just have fun. It's just a good bunch of people. So I was really grateful to be up there working with them.
Right, and they didn't kill you off at the end, so you could come back in another movie.
You're right. Actually, I could. That's a good point.
Be the big villain they bring back.
Yeah, be a big villain. So yeah,
All right. Well, thank you so much, and we will see you again sometime.
yeah, me too. I hope so. Thank you so much. And I can't believe you brought up One Life to Live. It's always fun for me because people don't always remember that. There was just so many cool people in New York. I was doing all these events with them. I used to play charity baseball, softball games, and all these other things. It was just cool. We went to
Yeah.
the White House together.
Oh
We
wow.
did it with all the ABC people for One Life to Live, and all my children,
Yeah.
and
General
you know,
Hospital.
yeah, we all went up there together
Oh, nice.
to all these things that we used to do. So it was fun. It was a
Yeah, it
good
was such a
time.
good show, and I cover all the soaps, and I've watched One Life to Live from like 1985 to its end. So big fan.
Um, well, when I got married 5 years ago, again, I got married to my wife now. When we were in our wedding in Tennessee. We got married in Tennessee. My character on One Life to Live was obviously not as popular as Patrick Muldoon's, because Patrick Muldoon was in my wedding party, and I think it's one of the rare times that when the actor that was getting married was not the most popular guy at his wedding, because every woman there, my wife's grandmother, her aunts, her friends, all wanted to take pictures with Pat Muldoon. And I'll tell you this much: Pat Muldoon's, he and I did Starship together, but
Right.
I was beat in that one. But he's still way more famous than me in Tennessee, where I'm from, because my wife's grandmother, before she passed, she had a picture of Pat up in her house, and two of the aunts had pictures of him up at the office
Wow.
and in their house. And I was not up in their houses or offices with my photo. It was just Pat's. So Pat was that famous. That's
Wow.
he's
Yeah,
got
no,
that.
he was great on Days of Our Lives. He was awesome. And I interviewed him once and he was so funny.
He's
So
the funniest guy. He's the funniest. I love him to death. He's one of my closest friends.
that's
But he
good.
was actually, he was literally was the most famous person at my wedding and the most popular man at my wedding. I was not
Should
the
have had
most
him wear a
popular.
mask or something. It's like, hey, can you look a little uglier? Do something to you.
Couldn't believe it. All my wife's friends that were single were hitting on him. A couple of the others that weren't single were looking at him with their husbands there, but all the grandmothers and all the aunts and everybody was like, "Hello, dear." So
That is
that's
great.
just my curse for bringing him and putting him in my wedding party.
Yeah, there you
So
go. You only
I'm sure
take
if we
one.
turned the camera around on the audience, instead of everybody looking at me, they would have all been looking at him.
You need to pick ugly, unimportant people for your wedding party, apparently.
I know. I was glad. I love that. I love that he was that popular. It was cute.
That is great. All right. Well, that was good, some good soap trivia there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.